In this video, we're going to be answering these questions. Why should you learn about your opponent in chess? How to stop your opponent's threats in chess? And how to recognize any threats in chess. Please make sure you watch the previous videos on chess before this one, because you'll learn many more concepts in chess which will turn you from zero to hero. I'll leave the link of those chess videos in the description below. Now onto the video. Today, I want you to think about the other side of the game, your opponent, or the top of the board. Now you might be wondering, why should we learn about your opponent? After all, you're the one controlling your side, not them. Well, it's very important to learn about your opponent, because learning how to stop your opponent's threats can win you the game. For example, in this position, there are no actual threats for black. Yes, white bishop can take this pawn on f7, but then our king can take the bishop, and that's $1, $3. Our king can't castle, but I bet he's going to be safe, because black has not developed. Now what else can... White might also play the tricky move, queen to h5. Now, if you have good board vision, which is being able to see all across the board and notice threats, you'll be able to see that there are two attackers now on the f7 pawn and only one defender, the king. Now we can do that, we can add another defender in several different ways. We can move the queen over to e7 or e6, it doesn't really matter which one. We can also push the pawn on g6 forward. Now every move in chess is kind of like a detective story. What does your opponent want to achieve with this move? In this instance, it's to stop checkmate and also to create a threat attacking the queen. Now black might move back to h3 to recreate the double attack, but then we might just we'll just calmly develop our knight, and there's no more checkmate threat. White has not developed at all. Remember, look for checks, attacks, and captures. That's the best way you can win. Every single move, look for checks, attacks, and captures. You have to figure out why your opponent did what he did and stop that before playing what you want to do. In this second position, here black also has another checkmate threat. Black is gonna move the queen to f6, go to f3, and then checkmate you. A classic queen and help her mate with the bishop. Currently our king is left wide open with this giant gap left after the pawn pushed one square, which allowed the bishop to come and invade our territory. Now there are multiple different ways we can stop this checkmate threat, but there's only one good way. For example, you might move your knight back. You might redirect your knight from b2 to d1, and then when the queen comes here, you can move the knight to e3, and that does stop checkmate temporarily, because black can threaten to take the knight, and then our knight is just forced to move back. What we can also do is we can move our queen. We can move the queen over to e2. Similar concept, to prevent the queen from coming to f3. But then again, black can also just attack our queen, and now our queen's forced to move. We can't do anything about it. Now the real move that works and stops checkmate is to find the incredibly tricky pawn to d4. Now at first glance, black might think, what is he doing? He's just gonna fall for the checkmate. Easy victory. But he doesn't see what will happen next. Because if black goes to f3, we bring our bishop back to f1, attacking the bishop and stopping all checkmate threats. Black is either forced to move the bishop or trade them. And after that's done, let's say he trades and gets the open file, there is no more checkmate threat. And now we can start an attack, since black's king is also incredibly weak on the dark squares, bring our queen over and come to attack. So now that you've learned about your opponent and how to stop their threats, all you need to do is practice to master stopping your opponent's threats and winning the game. Write down your top learning in the comment box below. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!